So I have been using the all new iPhone 17 Pro Max from the past 24 hours or so, and I also made one of the unboxing videos about this very same device just a day ago. And at the same time, this video that I'm shooting from right now, it is being shot on the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Along with, I have also got this DSLR that is set on the back of this frame. So if I just do not like the video output from the iPhone 17 Pro Max, I always have got the footage that I'm shooting alongside with this DSLR as well. So today in this video, I just wanted to give you my first reaction, or I would say the 24-hour impression of this device, that what I do really think about this cosmic orange color iPhone 17 Pro Max. And this thing, it is for purpose. I did not put any kind of black on top of me, because why not just enjoy this cosmic orange color on this iPhone 17 Pro Max and just keep the theme just like what we really want to. But this video, I just want to start with the design on this all new iPhone 17 Pro Max, because this is one thing that might be appealing to most of the users who might be switching to this all new smartphone for this year. And I already see the hype, because my Instagram feed, my thread feed, my YouTube feed, everything is just filled with this latest and the greatest at what we have got from Apple for this year. In fact, I love the design on this all new iPhone, even though it is a bit more bulky. Even if I compare this device with my Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, that is about 8.2 mm in thickness versus this iPhone 17 Pro Max, which means that it is even thicker than this iPhone 16 Pro Max from the last year, which is not something that is really amazing about this device. But I would be comparing both of these devices a few days later as of filming this video. But the thing is that the design itself, even though that it really looks good in this cosmic orange color, but it is not as clean as this iPhone 16 Pro Max. I think that this device, it just looks a bit more cleaner than this iPhone 17 Pro Max, which is really something that I'm surprised about, because Apple at the same time, they also released the all new iPhone Air as well, which is really just 5.6 mm thick. And if you just compare both of these devices, it is just a day-night difference, because again, we have got to the point in the technology where we have got tech like the silicon carbide batteries in the latest and the greatest that we have got from Oppo's and Vivo's and OnePlus in the market. But this is not something that what Apple is going for this year. In fact, a lot of other smartphones that we have seen in the market, they have got equivalent sensors as well, but at the same time, the actual size of the sensor, not the size of the physical sensor, but the module itself, it is getting thinner and thinner every year. And we can just take the Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge as one of the example, because the sensor is almost the same as the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, but Samsung was able to adjust that sensor inside of the Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge. That is also one of a very thin device that we have got in the market for this year. You know exactly that where I'm going with this conversation, because this device, it is just a bit more thick in my opinion, and when you just put a case on top of that, it is even more thicker. Now another thing that what I felt with this device is that it is not one of the lighter devices as well, if we compare it with the other smartphones in the market. And also at the same time, it is not the titanium smartphone that as what we were seeing with the iPhone 15 series and the iPhone 16 series. And Apple just raved a lot about the titanium on their smartphones, and now this thing just going away from the iPhone 17 Pro Max is not really what makes sense to me, at least. But Apple just says that it is just because that they wanted to improve the thermals on the device, and aluminum is one of the materials that is one of the best for the absorption of the heat on the smartphones. And I would take it only if Apple was to reduce the pricing on the smartphone for about $100, or at least if not reducing the price on the smartphone, just double the storage from 256 to 512, at least on the Pro models. But this is not something that we are seeing. I thought the last year when we saw the price bump on this iPhone, it was due to the increase in the pricing of the material that what Apple was using on their smartphone. But we are now back to the aluminum design, even though that it is now a unibody design, where on the center of the smartphone you see a glass design, and that is just loaded also with the ceramic glass too as well, to just make sure that the structural integrity of the smartphone is not compromised. And you also got the MagSafe accessories that can be used alongside of this glass as well. So a really neat design on the paper at least, but not in the real life, because you have just got a lot of antennas cameras on this device, one on the top and the other one that is just surrounded with the camera bar of this smartphone. But again, it is not the worst design in my opinion, and it is just growing on me. At least this grown up camera bar that is just stretched across the back of this device, just like what you have got on the Pixel devices. But you just need to take this thing because the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL and the 10 series is actually a better looking device for this year, and the design on those smartphones is just very neat. But Apple is trying to innovate over here, and that is why we see a brand new design on this smartphone. Now one thing is that these smartphones, it does not come in the black color and the gold color, which is what I would just have loved on this smartphone, because I could just match that thing with the AirPod Maxes that what I have got in my studio, but not something that is happening for this year. And for most of the people, I do not think that this cosmic orange color would work, because it is not a very neutral color, and it just takes a lot of gut to carry a color that is not very neutral, and that is just a very tangy orange color that what we have got on this device. But not something that I hate. In fact, this is one of the reasons that why I purchased this smartphone, because I just love the orange color. This orange t-shirt along with this orange cable and even my keyboard, it has got some of the orange accents that I just love to have on the accessories around me. In fact, this tripod, it has got the orange accent colors as well. Now another thing that what I want to talk about in this video is the battery capacity on this iPhone 17 Pro Max, and as Apple mentioned in their keynote, it is about 39 hours of battery that what we get on this iPhone 17 Pro Max, and that is just for the models that come with the eSIM. So what we have got in Canada, US, UK and in Japan, I think that those are one of the regions where you get this increased battery life on these smartphones. I am testing this device for about 24 hours as of filming this video, and I can say that the battery on this thing is just amazing. It is not very much better than the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and I would say it is about 10% of the difference, but it is just one of the single charges that what I gave to this iPhone, and it may improve in the terms of the battery life in the coming days. So something that I'm really amazed by on this smartphone. But at the same time, if it was just a silicon carbide tech on this smartphone, the smartphone did not have to be as thick as what we already see on this iPhone. One more thing that I want to discuss about in this video is the CPU and the GPU performance on this device, because Apple just mentioned that the performance on this device is about 40% better, and they just talked about the sustained performance, and I just see that the performance is about 15% or about 20% better than what we have got from the A18 Pro Bionic chip from the past year. I think that the 40% benchmark should be when you compare it with the normal A18 chip. I'm not too sure about that, but for sure that the performance is about 14 to 20% improved from the last year. But the thing is that we have got the Snapdragon 8 Gen Elite processor with the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, and even though that the single core performance is more on this device, but the multi-core is almost the same on both of the smartphones, and we already know that we will very soon get the Snapdragon 8 Gen Elite 2 processor or the Snapdragon 8 Gen Elite 5 whatsoever will be the naming schema on that very chipset, and that will be substantially faster than what we have got on this iPhone. So something that you really need to keep in mind, that the performance, even though that it is the best in the terms of the single core, it might not be better than the Snapdragon 8 Gen Elite processor that we will see in the coming months. Now another quick thing that what I wanted to discuss about in this video is the cameras on this iPhone 17 Pro Max, because yes, the cameras on this smartphone are really improved from what we had on the iPhone 16 Pro Max from the last year, especially in the terms of the telephoto camera sensor, which is even better than what we have got on the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra as well, because not only we got about 56% larger sensor on this iPhone 17 Pro Max in the terms of the telephoto camera, but also the megapixel count on this thing has increased to about 48 megapixel as well from the 12 megapixel that what we got on this iPhone 16 Pro Max from the last year, which is just an amazing number, and that is why I am extensively testing this camera against this iPhone 16 Pro Max just to make sure that it is a better improved camera sensor, and if so, how much improvement that we really see, because we know that when we get a new sensor from the Apple smartphones, it might not be one of the most tuned ones at the start, and we just might to see the things to be improved in the near future. But as for now, I see that this camera sensor is substantially better than what we got on the iPhone 16 Pro Max, which is just one thing that I just wanted to report in this video. Now also I do see some subtle improvements in the terms of the main camera sensor on this smartphone as well. That is also 48 megapixel camera sensor, but this is what sure not one of my favorite camera sensors on any smartphone, because I am still raving for the 1-inch camera sensor on the smartphones, and that is not what the Samsungs, the Googles and the Apples of the world are bringing on their devices. So it is improved, but for the price that what you are paying on the smartphones, it should just be a 1-inch camera sensor on this smartphone, even though it is a better sensor, but it is not as good as the 1-inch camera sensors from the Sony that we have already got to see on the OnePlus devices, the Vivo devices and the OnePlus devices in the market. But someone just has to start this race of 1-inch camera sensors on the smartphone, just like Samsung or Google, just to push Apple to bring a similar sensor as well. But one thing is that the ultra wide camera sensor on this smartphone is also a 48 megapixel camera sensor, so it is just a triple array of 48 megapixel camera sensors on this smartphone. I also took some of the zoom shots in this camera system as well, and I was surprised to see the details that what we get out of this smartphone. Just amazing. And again, I have been shooting a part of this video on this iPhone 17 Pro Max as well, so I just want to see that what the results are really like in the video department as well. But in the short testing that what I did in my studio, I am also amazed by the video quality on this smartphone. It is far way more better than what we got on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. If we just start to nitpick on the smaller things, just like the dynamic range and the shadows, and also the amount of textures that is retained on the videos of this smartphone versus iPhone 16 Pro Max, but also as the telephoto camera on the smartphone is now a 48 megapixel one with also an improved sensor. Now you can shoot about 8x of optical zoom, and the maximum digital zoom on this camera is about 40x. That is on par with one of the best that we have got in the market. It is not 100x, but it is far more better than having a camera sensor that can just do about 10x or 20x right from the starting. But also the selfie camera on this smartphone for this year, it is improved as well, because it is not a 12 megapixel camera sensor, but it is now an all new 18 megapixel camera sensor on this smartphone. And that is not just a regular sensor, it is a new kind of a square sensor on this device, which means that now when you're taking a selfie shot on the camera, you just do not have to do from the portrait mode to the landscape mode to be able to switch to a wider view, because now the center stage feature that is all new for this iPhone series, it is intelligent enough to see that if there are more people in the frame, it will just switch to a wider view. And because it is all squares, it can be a normal square, it could be a rectangle, and it would be just able to adjust accordingly from 16:9 aspect ratio to all the other ones that are available with this center stage feature, which is one of the features that is very neat. And I'm surprised to see that Google was not able to figure this thing out, because again, Samsung is not the most innovative in the terms of the new camera features, but Google is, and I would just be expecting this feature to be first arriving on the Google devices. But Apple is there and they just won the race on this device, and I'm amazed that this feature is available on this iPhone 17 Pro Max. Now one more feature that is enabled on this device with this all new iPhone 17 series is also the dual capture video feature. That is not something that is new for the Samsung smartphones, because this is something that what we are being able to do from years as well. Now what it enables is that when you are recording from the front camera or from the back camera, you can use this feature to simultaneously record from the front and the back at the same time. And now we can say officially that Apple did really copy the Samsung smartphones over here. Now on to the rest of the features that what I want to discuss about in this video is the display on this smartphone, because now we have got a 3000 nits of peak brightness on this smartphone, along with an anti-reflective display technology, which is another feature that is being copied from the Samsung smartphones, and specifically the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, which is one thing that I was really amazed by, because I just did not think that Apple would bring this feature so much soon on their smartphones. But Apple just they copied Samsung, and they did bring one of the best features from the Samsung devices on this all new iPhone 17 Pro Max. But also we have now got a vapor chamber inside of this all new iPhone 17 Pro Max, which means that the smartphone is not very hot to touch, and that is something again that I'm amazed by, because Apple should have just included a vapor chamber on their smartphones from a longer time now. They just did not bring any kind of vapor chamber technology on their MacBooks, but they just introduced this technology directly on their iPhones. Now another thing that I want to discuss about in this this video is that now we have got a standard modem that is designed by Apple on the smartphone as well, which means that we have got the Bluetooth version 6 on the smartphone along with the Wi-Fi 7 and all the latest standards that are being available on the market. And also Apple suggests that it is a faster modem, but this is again one thing that I need to test in a longer run because I have just kept this smartphone for about 24 hours. And well, now with that said, that was all that what I wanted to share about in this video. Definitely this iPhone 17 Pro Max is one of the best devices that you can pick in the market right now, but it is just not one of the most revolutionary device with a silicon carbide tech, or maybe also one of the smartphones with the thinnest profile and not even a 1-inch camera sensor on a device. And that is really just a verdict for this video. I would rather prefer a device from OnePlus or Oppo with a better specification and a faster processor than picking up on a device that is just costing about 1749 Canadian dollars. But the only reason that why I picked this one is just because of this cosmic orange color, because this is one of the most top colors that we have seen in the iPhones in the longest time. And well, that was all about this video. My name is Anshul. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.